India. It's often said it's not a country, but a continent. Stretching from the frozen summits of the Himalayas to the tropical shores of the Indian Ocean. Its expansive borders encompass an incomparable range of ecosystems, making it one of the most biodiverse countries on the planet. Much of its wildlife lives in its verdant forests, which carpet over a fifth of its landmass. In this environment, animals are either predators or prey. And for many of the latter, a good getaway is often the best line of defense. This is certainly true for the chital, India's most common deer. It's mating season, and this group, composed mostly of mothers and their young, is trailed by distracted males, squabbling for dominance. In the dappled light of the forest, the white spots which cover their bodies would normally provide camouflage. But out here in the open, they're defenseless. And they have reason to be fearful. These forests are home to one of the largest predators on the planet, and India's most iconic creature. A tigress moves stealthily through the undergrowth towards her prey. She's a fast sprinter, but over distance, the chital can outrun her. So she needs to get close enough to launch an ambush. The deer sense danger. She chases down her target, reaching speeds of 40 miles an hour. Using her body weight to knock it to the ground. And kills it with a bite to the neck. It's a brutal but quick death. And necessary. Only 1 in 10 hunts are successful, and this tigress will not have eaten for days. More importantly, she has cubs to feed. Only a few months old, they're unable to fend for themselves, but she must leave them each time she hunts. Less than a century ago, tigers could be found throughout Asia. Sadly, hunting and habitat loss have put their numbers at risk. So that today, India shelters around 70% of the world's tiger population. Here, this largest of the big cats is revered and celebrated as sacred. These are folk dancers from the southern Karuba tribe. During the annual holy festival of Dussehra, they painstakingly decorate their bodies and travel from village to village performing the Huli Vesha tiger dance. Their moves mimic the big cat's stealth and power and express their deep connection to the wildlife with which they share their environment. Indian culture is deeply imbued with respect for the natural world. But with an ever-growing population, there's been inevitable and increasing conflict with wildlife. In the Western Ghats, a 1,000-mile ribbon of mountains that runs the length of the southwestern side of India. The climate is one of the wettest in the country. An area of outstanding biodiversity, judged to be one of the planet's 10 hottest hotspots. Its dense jungles, rainforest, and grasslands are home to almost a third of the subcontinent's plant and animal species, including the largest wild population of Asian elephants on the planet. Adult elephants need to eat up to 300 pounds of vegetation every day and roam great distances in a never-ending search for food. This female is the matriarch of her family. She is the oldest and leads a herd of her sisters, daughters, and their young. Her knowledge of pathways, water sources, and grazing opportunities has been passed down to her through generations. But whereas a century ago, unbroken forest stretched across the entire mountain range, today, less than 1/10 of it survives. This is perfect tea-growing country, and the slopes are now a patchwork of plantations. In places, the elephants' ancient routes have been disrupted, leaving them no choice but to cross estates, bringing them into direct conflict with man. Sometimes the outcome is damage to villages. Or worse. Each year, as many as 400 people are killed by elephants. Luckily, this herd moves off into the jungle. As well as large iconic animals like the elephant, the forests and jungles of the Western Ghats are also home to many smaller inhabitants. For these creatures, staying out of sight is the best way to stay alive. A Draco lizard is perfectly camouflaged to blend in with tree bark. If he keeps still, he all but disappears. But this individual wants to be noticed. He's on the lookout for a mate. A bright flap of skin advertises his presence to females. But he's also caught the eye of another master of camouflage. A vine snake. This is one of the thinnest serpents in the world, with a slender body that's 6.5 feet long, but just 3/4 of an inch wide. But as he approaches, the Draco senses danger and plays his trump card. Flexing its ribcage, it spreads a fold of skin to make a simple but effective wing, and makes his getaway by transforming himself into a living hang glider. Also hidden here among the branches is one of the rarest primates in the world. lion-tailed macaque. Their dark bodies and grey manes make them difficult to spot among the shadows of the canopy. For monkeys like these, venturing to the forest floor is a risky business. The leaf litter is a perfect hiding place for a deadly predator. A king cobra, the largest venomous snake on the planet. These giant reptiles can grow up to 18 feet long. But luckily for the lion-tail macaque, monkey isn't on the menu. King cobras prefer other snakes. This rat snake definitely appeals. The cobra tracks its prey by smelling with its tongue. Locking onto its target with deadly accuracy. King cobra inject more venom in a single bite than any other snake. Enough to kill an elephant. In a matter of minutes, the rat snake's nervous system is shut down. While its prey is locked in a coma from which it will never awaken, the cobra gulps it whole, protein in its venom digesting it alive. India's northern border is dominated by the world's greatest mountain range, the Himalayas. Stretching over 1,500 miles from east to west, these mighty mountains cut off India from the rest of the Asian continent. It's a foreboding realm of ice and snow, sometimes known as the Third Pole. The upper altitudes of this mountain range are unimaginably hostile. Temperatures here can drop to below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And icy winds reach speeds of over 170 miles an hour. Conditions are almost as harsh below the snow line, where weathering produces unstable scree fields and jagged cliffs. It's hard to believe that any creature could call this unforgiving region home, but some unique species do. Among them, the barrel. This intrepid mountaineer is well able to maintain a foothold on these treacherous rock faces. But they're not alone in these frozen peaks. Barrel are preyed upon by a ghostly, almost mythical predator. A phantom of these remote ranges. the snow leopard. A beautiful but elusive relative of the tiger. Few will ever glimpse this incredible animal. A more common, but no less remarkable sight in this most extreme of environments is the flight of migrating bar-headed geese. For these birds, the soaring peaks of the Himalayas are no obstacle. The altitude should kill them, but twice yearly they make this death-defying journey to winter feeding grounds in northern India at an altitude of over 23,000 feet. The air at these levels is dangerously thin, and most creatures would struggle to breathe. Their secret? These birds have evolved an incredible physiology that allows them to cope with extremely low levels of oxygen. Their muscles use it more efficiently than other birds, and their lungs are proportionally far bigger. All traits which enable the bar-headed goose to comfortably cross the Himalayas in just 8 hours at speeds of up to 50 miles an hour, making them the planet's highest flying birds, a creature that ventures where no other dares go. To the very roof of the world. Largely untouched and unexplored, the Indian Himalayas are one of the subcontinent's last great wildernesses. As the land falls away from these towering mountain tops, the wind-swept rocks give way to alpine meadows and dense forests teeming with life. Over half of India's flowering plant species can be found here, which in turn support a staggering diversity of animals, much of which could be found nowhere else on Earth. Creatures like the rare golden langur, and the Fair's leaf monkey. These primates live in the treetops, feeding on the leaves and fruits they find in the canopy. Seldom descending to the forest floor, where danger waits. Indian pythons are always on the lookout for an easy meal. Growing to over 20 feet, this snake's body is packed with powerful muscles that can squeeze the life out of any monkey unwary enough to drop within its grasp. Even the canopy is not entirely safe. A female clouded leopard lazes in the late afternoon heat. She's an excellent climber, so these monkeys must stay alert. As evening approaches, she begins to prowl. So the monkey troops head to the highest branches to sleep. one elusive incomer to this great mountain range has found a perfect hideout in the deciduous forests of the Himalayan highlands. The red panda has spread into the region from its strongholds in the mountains of southwest China. This male lives a solitary life, spending much of his time feeding on bamboo shoots and young leaves. Although he forages on the ground, he's an excellent climber and prefers the safety of the trees. Mainly nocturnal, he spends the early morning grooming before retiring to sleep for much of the day. Thick fur helps maintain precious body heat in these high altitudes and can even be found on the bottom of his paws. So cleaning is a meticulous process. But the sight of a passing female is enough to draw him out of his bedtime routine. She will only come into season for one day each year. So this is an opportunity not to be missed. He makes a rapid, headlong descent. And approaches his potential mate. Only to find that she's not in the mood. His search for a partner could well take some time. In the humid jungles of the Himalayan lowlands, India's only ape species has no such problem. It's early morning, and a troop of Hoolock gibbons are on the move. Their territories are small, but often overlap with other groups, so defensive calling is a daily event. It's a distinctive chorus that's reverberated through these remote jungles for millennia. The gibbons live in small family groups. Males are distinguished by their black coats and striking white eyebrows, whereas the females are much paler. Babies' cream-colored fur will gradually darken with age. Gibbons are masters of movement in the trees, using their remarkably long forearms to swing through branches at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. And covering nearly 30 feet in a single leap. Winning them the title of acrobatic daredevils of the primate world. India's rich wildlife is shaped by one of the greatest weather systems on the planet. The mighty monsoon. Each year, the hot months of summer herald a life-saving deluge as moisture-laden air from the Indian Ocean is blown across the land by winds from the southwest. When these rain clouds eventually collide with the great natural barrier of the mighty Himalayan mountains, the lands below are inundated. Here, in the northeastern mountain state of Meghalaya, the so-called abode of clouds, around 40 feet of rain falls each year, making it one of the wettest places on the planet. Locals endure so much rain that flooding rivers threaten to isolate communities for months on end. But luckily, they've found an unexpected solution. They've learnt to train the roots of strangler figs to form exquisite living bridges over the floodwaters. The monsoon-swollen rivers of this region create spectacular waterfalls, like the mighty Nokalakai Falls, which at 1,000 feet is the tallest plunge waterfall in all of India. The ancient mountains of the Western Ghats may only reach heights of around 4,000 feet, but they do for southern India what the mighty Himalayas do for the north of the country. Sandwiched between the Arabian Sea and these so-called mountains of the monsoon, the coastal plains of Kerala are some of the richest lands in India. Laced with a labyrinth of canals, rivers, and lakes. This region is home to an abundant variety of bird species, including the Brahmani kite. These birds learn to hunt by dropping and catching leaves soon after they learn to fly. But as adults, their quarry proves a little more challenging. Finally, persistence pays off. This male egret is performing an elaborate courtship display. Special wispy feathers on his back are designed to catch a female's eye. He's in luck. Storks and pelicans already have young. Hordes of hungry chicks wait noisily for their hard-working parents to bring back food. But there are dangers close by. Mugger crocodiles prowl these waters. Growing to lengths of 16 feet, this prehistoric-looking reptile is an ambush predator. And any creature straying too close to the water's edge is dicing with death. But this mugger has other things than food on his mind. Crocodiles are cold-blooded and rely on the elements to maintain their body temperature, spending hours basking in the sun. Unable to sweat, they release heat through their mouths if they get too warm. In more popular sunbathing spots, things can sometimes get a little too heated. Two males size each other up and fight for supremacy over territory. Battles can be brutal. The loser is sent packing. In India's northwest, the Great Thar Desert forms a natural border between the subcontinent and Pakistan. Stretching for over 7,000 square miles, this is a land of searing heat and rolling dunes. Scorched by a near-permanent drought, temperatures here can soar to a blistering 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Few can survive this arid landscape. But there are signs of life in these baking sands. Beetles are perfectly suited to the inhospitable surroundings. This is a darkling. It produces water metabolically and has no need to drink. It sprints across this barren world on a constant search for food. Scorpions, the armored kings of the desert world, can be found throughout the Thar. But when this desert's famed winds start to blow, all must seek shelter. The sandstorm finally subsides, but it's taken a deadly toll. For desert ants, however, this scorpion's death presents an opportunity. But it's soon apparent that their meal is far too large to carry whole. Systematically, they begin to cut it into more manageable portions. And transport it back to their nest. While insects flourish in the Thar's harsh desert environment, its lack of water means that few mammals can exist here. Humans first domesticated camels over 3,000 years ago. They provide the perfect transportation across this inhospitable region. Thick footpads spread when making contact with the ground, acting as snowshoes on the shifting surface. And they're able to travel for 5 days without food or water because of the fat reserves stored in their hump. For the nomadic people of the Thar, the camels are essential to their very survival, and as such are respected and celebrated. Despite being one of India's most inhospitable regions, the Thar is peppered with bustling towns and cities. In one, the people's bond with another creature goes even further. At the very heart of the desert lies the remote settlement of Deshnok. A temple in the town is a magnet for thousands of Hindu pilgrims. And home to around 20,000 rats. Visiting worshippers believe these rodent inhabitants are the reincarnated descendants of the miracle goddess Kali Mata. Feeding the temple's rats is seen as an honor. With some regulars taking it to the next level. Kali Mata's holy rats are a striking, if extreme, demonstration of just how integral respect for the natural world is to Indian culture. The Thar's bustling desert cities have become a beacon to one particularly adaptable species. On the region's eastern fringes lies Jaipur. This sprawling metropolis is home to over 2 million inhabitants. Their livestock, and 40-odd troops of rhesus macaques. The monkeys roam the city streets, reaping the benefits of this man-made desert oasis. But life isn't easy. And if they want to eat, they sometimes have to help themselves. A street vendor's parked cart is an opportunity that can't be missed. These furry thieves will pilfer anything they can get their hands on. Before the owner can do anything about it, the macaques make a swift exit. Life on the street is tough, but one 60-strong troop has landed on its feet. Having moved into a temple dedicated to the monkey god Hanuman, they now live a life of luxury. Gorging on the pilgrims' plentiful handouts, and relaxing in the temple's pools. This carefree troop enjoys a privileged status. But as the crippling summer heat reaches its peak, the city is gripped by drought. As water supplies run out, city taps are locked down, and life becomes increasingly tough. But there's a change in the air. And Jaipur's residents can sense it. The monsoon has arrived. The city is transformed. Dry roads and pavements become wild rapids, flooding the streets. Humans and animals celebrate the rains, rejoicing in their shared, newfound water world. India. Vibrant, breathtaking, and extreme. A vast land of striking contrasts, where man lives cheek by jowl with the natural world. Home to over 1 billion people, and some of the most spectacular wildlife on the planet.